Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today, we're going to talk about Bitcoin, and we're going to be looking at evidence to suggest that Bitcoin may never go below $40,000 ever again. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Remember to check out the premium list. The prices, we're going to have them go up on Monday. Okay, so if you want to sign up, make sure you sign up before Monday and you will lock in the lower rate. You can find a link to that in the description below or at intothecryptoverse.com. So the reason I say this is not to say that it can't go below 40K again, but I'm just going to be showing you one metric that historically has always meant that the price was never revisited. Okay, this is what we're going to be looking at. And at the end of the day, it's nothing more than dubious speculation, right? I'll be the first to admit it might not pan out. But we also like to take all data into consideration, all things considered, and then look to see what has happened in the past. You guys know my, somewhat fanaticism with the bull market support band that I make, right? A combination of the 20-week SMA and the 21-week EMA. And one of the reasons why I like it so much is because historically speaking, when Bitcoin holds the line at the bull market support band, and hold on to your hats, it has not gone below that price where it held ever again. You're probably like, what is Ben smoking? And you're probably wanting two of them, right? Well, let's go back and look. Don't take my word for it. Let's just walk through, right? That way you guys can see the same thing I'm seeing and then be like, Ben, that's too dubious even for you. Or maybe get on board with the idea. So when we held the line back in, I mean, we could even go back over here if you really want to go far back. In April of 2011, Bitcoin held the line, viewer discretion advised, at a very modest 65 cents. Okay? Bitcoin held the line at 65 cents. And I don't know about you guys, but I've never seen Bitcoin since then on sale for 65 cents. Okay? I just haven't seen it. We then held the line in May of 2012 at $5. $5 Bitcoin. We never went below $5 again. Never. All right? Now, holding the line, I mean, it's somewhat, maybe you could suggest that it's somewhat ambiguous, but I would say even if you take it by the most, even if you say just a wick, right, where we then continue higher after the wick, you'll see this play out, right? So again, here we're holding the line. We never go lower, right? We never go lower. Now here we first sort of had this fake out, but then we ended up holding the line, right? We ended up holding the line here at the 21-week EMA. Remember, it's a combination of the 20-week SMA and the 21-week EMA. And what happened? We never went below that price ever again. Because here we held it, the 21-week EMA was below the 20-week SMA. We held it at around $92. We never went below that price ever again. Okay? We had this wick here that took us down slightly below at 110. But where we held the line, the bottom of the bull market support band, when we held it, we never went below it again. You might be able to say, well, if you count this as holding the line at, say, the 20-week SMA at 111, we maybe technically went below that. But if you take the more conservative approach and just say whatever the bottom of the bull market support band was when we held it, we've never gone below that. Okay, so another example here of not going below it once we held the line right here. Again, we continue on. We held the line at 354. Never again did we go below those prices. Okay? We held the line here. Again, at 645. Never went below the prices. Again here at 933. I don't know about you guys. I don't remember a 933 Bitcoin in the last few years. 1886. And now you're probably thinking, all right, we got him. Right? We got him. Because you're looking at this other wick up here. But even then, on the wick that took us down to the 20-week, we even in the bear market, right? Even in the bear market, we never went below it. Okay, this wick maybe foreshadowed the next bear market bottom, right? We never went below it, and then we had our bear market, right? So then we come over here and we held the line at 10K. And you guys remember that, right? 10K was a huge deal. And we went down to 9,800. I think we even, we're running 9,800, 9,900. And I mean, who remembers the gap, boys, right? All calling for $9,600 to fill the gap on the daily, on the CME, right? The daily CME gap on the daily time frame. So many people were calling for it. We said, hey, this is absolutely ridiculous that you would wait to buy Bitcoin at 9,600, but put your nose up toward it at 10,000. Who cares, right? Who cares if you got it at 10,000 or 9,600? Why not just take the opportunity when it presents itself rather than getting too greedy and waiting for a lower price? I've always said DCA is the way, right? Don't stray DCA. If you always ask for a lower price, eventually you're going to get burned. It's much less stressful to just DCA, right? It's so much less stressful. So then we look at this and we'd say, well, Bitcoin held the line at 10K. We haven't seen 10K, all right? Now, I said this a few weeks ago that the bears would have you believe that we will be going back down to $10,000, okay? They were calling for this to be a dead cap bounce. I said I really don't think it's going to happen. Not only because we held the line at $10,000 and we know that we've never gone below it but at that point, but also if you look at some of the other indicators that we've used in, say, like the bear market, 10K is actually below the logarithmic regression band. Now, we did technically go below it here on a wick, but I mean, I feel like that's just very unlikely to happen because if we would have to drop straight down and we still wouldn't be at 10K at the bottom of the regression band. And worst case scenario is that this is the top and Bitcoin is in a bear market, which again, I don't think it is in a multi-year bear market. I don't think that's the case. Worst case, if it did something like this, by the time it gets down here, the lower regression band would probably be closer to 15, 20K or something. So I really don't see 10K happening. Now, this is where it gets extremely dubious, of course. And by the way, if you are a dubious speculator yourself, we do have dubious speculation t-shirts, store.intothecryptoverse.com. To make them extra dubious, they are in fact V-necks. I'm not sorry. So we've looked at all these holds of the bull market support band, and it's always a little, sketchy to be saying things like we can't go below 40K because, it's certainly a possibility. We're not going to say it can't happen. But if history is any indication, then holding the line at 40K is potential evidence that we may never see it go below 40K ever again. It's certainly possible. Now, right now, we're sort of in that zone where, we could wake up tomorrow and then Bitcoin could dump, 10, 20% or something, and then it could go back into a downtrend. And it's certainly possible that we go back to those levels. But where it could become a little bit more believable is if we continue higher and we put in new all-time highs, and then we just continue on, right? Like we continue on this rally, and then it makes it a lot more believable that we may never go below 40K again. We may never see Bitcoin, put it this way, like the next time it starts with a 3 might be when it's 300K, not 30-something K. So, I look at this, and I've always been so skeptical about saying, what Bitcoin can and cannot do, and saying that it can never go below 40K or below it is probably honestly not a smart thing to say, just to be completely honest. But I wanted to draw your attention to this, to this fact that every time we've held the bull market support band in the past, the price of Bitcoin never went below it. And now, with the 20-week SMA is already at 43K, the 21-week EMA is at 46K, it certainly leads itself to the possibility that we never go below 40K again. Right now, we have a little bit of wiggle room. I mean, for us to get back to 40K, let's take a measured move here. To get back to 40K, I mean, let's say below 40K, right? we'd have to drop about 31%. Okay, so is Bitcoin capable of dropping 31%? Of course, it's capable of dropping 31%. We're just sort of dubiously speculating that, hey, we held the line, we had the golden cross, we were above the 20 week, we know there's the three things that we need before a second leg. We got all three of them, right? 1, 2, 3. And now, since then, the dead cat bounce that the bears said looks not like a dead cat bounce to me. I don't think it looks like a dead cat bounce. So, I think right now we're definitely coming in on this resistance, okay? And we've already reached it at around 58K. Bitcoin's now trading above 58K, so we are at the bottom of that resistance level. There could be some work to do, all right? And, it certainly would be nice if we can just continue through it, which, hey, it's always a possibility. And then maybe we come back down and hold it as support. Wouldn't that be nice, right? Wouldn't that be nice? That's one possibility. Another possibility that's a little bit more conservative would say, okay, well, maybe we come up and then we get rejected, and then we come up again, and then we pass it. Or maybe we get rejected again, and then we come up a third time, or something like that, okay? Either way, I do think, Bitcoin ultimately does have clear skies ahead. I do. I said that before we held the 20 week, that if we hold it, it should be clear skies ahead. We held it. What more is there to say, right? So let me know what you guys think about this. Do you think it's a little bit too dubious to be suggesting that it may never go below 40K again? It sort of begs the question, well, what could be a potential market cycle bottom for, say, like the next cycle? And honestly, that's a good question. And we talked about that question a lot in the bear market. In fact, we in the bear market, we speculated that the next market cycle bottom could be 50K plus or minus 10K. And by we, I mean that's what I speculated, right? That's not necessarily what you guys speculated. Probably some people think it's going to be a lot higher than that. Some people probably think it's going to be a lot lower than that. But my speculation is that the next bear market bottom will probably be 50K plus or minus 10K, which would still put it at 40K. It could be it could end up being something like that, where the next bottom corresponds to this test, the 20-week SMA, or slightly above it, right? Or slightly above it. The reason I say that, and the reason you have to at least be somewhat flexible on it being around 50K. It could be 40K, it could be 60K, right? Maybe it's 64K, right? Maybe the next bear market bottom is just this local top over here. You can see that in 2013, the first top, more or less, ended up being the market cycle bottom later on. Not quite, but it was close to it, right? It actually went slightly below it. But one reason we've looked at that is because these regression bands, right? The regression bands, every halving, we've always been at the fair value, right? You can see in July of 2016, the end of 2012, right over here, and then in May of 2020, every single time, the price of Bitcoin has been at the quote-unquote fair value of the non-bubble data, right? Of the non-bubble data. Let's be clear about that. And then if you were to just dubiously draw this out, which we should redraw it after every cycle and whatnot, it's going to be around, it depends on exactly when the halving is, but it's probably going to be somewhere around 40 to 50K. So, these are definitely some interesting speculations for sure. But let me know what you guys think about us holding the line at 40K. Will we ever go below it again? Let me know what you guys think. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. We also do the premium list at intothecryptoverse.com. Prices are going to go up on Monday, so make sure you lock in the low rate before then. Subscribe, click the bell icon to turn on notifications. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.